in from the gym. Literally just walked in thinking somebody's got this handled. But alas,
it's a good job you came, John.
So hold on. Let me get my glasses on so you recognize me. There we are, right? That's John Lavenia.
That's
Now
John.
you know who you're talking to. All right, good. Well, welcome everyone to the JL Success Mastermind for whatever day it is. It is 8 October 2020. You know, in 2 days, it'll be 10/10/2020.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Look at that. In fact, my daughter's expected birthday was 10/10/10. So she was 5 days later than expected. So 10/15 is her birthday. But yeah, look at that. 10/10/2020 coming right up. In just a couple of days, I do see we have a few people joining us here today. And naturally, Zoom changed the controls. I just updated Zoom yesterday, and now I get to figure out where the buttons are. There's the button I'm looking for. Hey, Caroline, Evelyn, Koila, good to see Adrian. Of course, Kim is here. Nikki, Mary, always a pleasure to see you. Bill is in the tropics again. How does he just keep showing up in the tropics? That just happens. Coral, hi, Mark, Jamie, of course, Jane and Neil. I see Therese and John. Good to see John in SoCal there. Jody, Elmer, I'm sure Hung-san is somewhere in your midst. Ivier and Nancy and Gail,
Hello.
David, Carl, good to see you, Carl. Carl and I got some production going on in the background. That's really good. Susie, Ace Man, Emma, and everyone else who's joining us here live. I am super excited to be here with you. Clearly, I have no idea what we're talking about today since I didn't know I was hosting until T-minus 15 seconds ago. But I've got an idea. You guys want to have fun? You want to have fun? Here's what we're going to do. Somebody said the word round robin, which I've never done on this mastermind group because it puts people on the spot. So let me just preempt all of this by saying, if you want to be silent, be silent. You can respectfully decline the floor. Okay, so that's how we can roll this. We do have a bit of an intimate group here today. There's not 10 million people on here, so we can kind of have fun with this. Now, of course, on Fridays, we have our Be Heard event, which is typically small group, tends to attract some of our newer members who maybe don't like to speak up so much, and this is a bigger group, which is fine, right? I want to hear you. We're going to hear you again today, but what I'd like to do is initiate. Well, I've got an announcement too, but I'd like to initiate, or I'd like to have you initiate a topic. And so when we think about a round robin, again, we've never done this before, but someone may introduce an idea. Hey, I'm having a challenge, a problem, or I've got an idea, I've got a solution. This may or may not be relevant to the rest of the group, but in 30 to 60 seconds, state, here's what's coming up for me. Here's what's working, or here's what's not working in my life, in my current reality, right? So no need to theorize about this, but here's something that maybe I could use some assistance with. Anybody got some ideas on that? Right? Or I just killed it with this one project. Man, look at the result. Here's how I did it. Anybody have a similar experience or, would like some guidance on that? So that's what we're going to do. Before we do that, today, meaning today, at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, 10 p.m. UK time, early morning in Sydney, we are having a special event. We're having a copywriting workshop, and Chelsea Cohen, who's an expert copywriter, who's hired to do things like write copy for things like Amazon and other platforms. She's going to be addressing the group with an e-commerce copywriting workshop. Don't thank me, thank her, and thank Shannon, who arranged this. She's apparently a friend of Shannon. So Shannon, of course, as my secret weapon, the brand builder extraordinaire. Now, also at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, middle of the night in the UK, we're having Global and Tactical Marketing with Mark Riggle. So we do have a couple things on the calendar today, including that special event and Global and Tactical Marketing with Mark Riggle. So since we're already on sort of a marketing and organization and productivity trip this week, I want to go ahead and open the floor. And no need to raise your hand, okay? Although once one person talks, then we'll raise our hands to be next, okay? So who would like to start this round robin and introduce some sort of a topic, a win, a problem? Start talking. The floor is yours.
I have a win.
I was expecting you, Therese. I was looking at you. All right. All right. Therese has the floor, and then we'll go to hands. Go ahead, Therese.
Well, it certainly isn't about my packaging with my supplier. That's still unknown, even though I've sent some pretty specific clear demands. But my win was, we talked about when we started this, it was about you know, seeing the numbers that we want, the law of attraction, putting the work in daily, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you guys might remember the little piggy coin purse that I came across on the trail.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, I've come across two things that I had. One, I forgot to do. So I used to work for the communities. I worked for the state of Alaska for almost 2.5, 3 years. And I forgot to roll over my retirement contribution. So as I'm unpacking all of these boxes, I was like, oh, voila. So I turned that over. So I made a pretty nice contribution to my IRA account. So my income, my value is raised as of this morning. And then also while I was unpacking, I came across, I worked in the jewelry world for many, many years. And some of you may or may not have heard of a premier diamond cutter who out of New York. His name was Lazar Kaplan, and he's the person who patented laser inscriptions on ideal cut diamonds, so perfectly cut diamonds, right? Unfortunately, he was in one of the planes that crashed into one of the towers in 9/11. But I came across my document that has shares of the company. And so I have a call in to find out what, if I can trade that share in or increase my value and move beyond that piece of paper. So I guess that's kind of my win.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well done. And when I say well done, I don't mean like you had to do effort to do that. I guess you just had to sort of get organized and discover, oh, I have assets. Oh, well, that's nice, right? But the intent, right? You probably wouldn't have started organizing if you didn't intend to advance in some way in your life, right? To be more organized or to increase, in this case, your net worth. So thank you. There you go.
Right. Well, it was that daunting thing of moving and unpacking my past, right? That was from, I probably hadn't been in that box since I moved from Eugene, Oregon, like 17 years ago, right? I went traveling, I was wholesale on the road, and that document stayed in a box after my divorce. So it has not been opened until yesterday. So there it is.
So I guess this is kind of piggybacking on, in a loose way, what we were talking about yesterday with not marrying the vehicle. Like, what's the method? What's the method to get what you want? I don't know. I'm not attached to the method. I like the result. I don't really care about the method as long as it's ethical, right? So there you go. Well done. Well done, Therese. Nicola's got the floor. Nicola Black.
Hello.
Hey.
So I've got a win to share, then a question to ask. So I mentioned, I think it was last week, about the property business I run. So I put a whole load of effort in about a week or two ago to try and generate more short-term bookings after all the cancellations. And I kind of said I was trying to attract contractors, but didn't really know what the outcome would be. So I got the first booking a couple of days ago. Then today, when I was out for lunch, I got 2 more long-term bookings, the longest ones we've ever had again. So I actually made £1,500 while I was sitting having my lunch, which is one of the best feelings in the world. And then realised, because I had put us on different platforms on Airbnb and Booking.com, realised somebody had double booked at the same time. And because I was having lunch, I hadn't updated the calendars. So I had a double booking. So the guys just rang us. And it turns out he's working in my area for a few streets away. He needs another 6 weeks, which I can put him in another property. But not only that, he's building a new Amazon building, which nobody in the area even knew about. And I have been kind of questioning myself the past few weeks, should I put my new handmade products on Amazon? And I just didn't know if it was the right route to take. But he said Amazon are putting a lot of pressure on them. So they're working like 12 or 15-hour shifts to get this warehouse distribution center open in time for Black Friday. So I just thought, if that's not a message from the universe to tell me to get my products listed on Amazon as soon as possible, because there's a centre opening at the end of my street, then I don't know what it is. So I've now got kind of 3 long-term bookings and a nice message from the universe to pull my finger out and get my products ready for Black Friday.
Yeah.
So quite an interesting
Congratulations. Look at that. Some people would call that synchronicity, right? It's kind of like right at the end of your street. Here's the warehouse saying we need to put products out for Amazon. Wow, Nicola.
And it's an unusual little town I live in, so I'm very surprised to see Amazon choose it to open. And he said it's the size of 3 football pitches, so it's a pretty decent size. So it's going to be great for jobs in the area as well.
Right.
So,
You know what? I've heard a somewhat similar story from Stuart recently. Different circumstances, but same sort of serendipitous. Oh, look, new combinations with the same material, and now we're having wins. Anyway, we'll get Stuart out here to share about that at some point. Who's got the floor next? Koila, what's going on with you?
Hi there. I don't. Well, I have a kind of a has been a problem and a kind of a probably win. And as you know, I've had quite a lot of stuff going on in my life just lately. And I left my old job Monday, a week ago, and had an election that I didn't win on Friday. Then I had my last AX10 call on Monday. So everything's gone from going at 110 miles an hour to, hey, what's this thing called time that suddenly appeared in my life, and it's been kind of disorientating, it's like I've hit a wall, and I've only just, that's been this last, I suppose, since Saturday, Sunday, I've just had been in this weird gap where I'm just disorientated and not really. So I've had a rest and I've done some reading and just generally, and today I've picked beans and I'm drying them, and I feel a bit more with it today. So today I've also done a few other things, and I've got a start date for my new job, which is next Tuesday. So yeah, it's just all a bit of a funny time. So I don't know if you can get a topic out of that anywhere, but it's just been odd, and I'm very glad I'm feeling a bit more on purpose, and I'm going to start doing stuff now rather than just trying to chill a bit.
Right. Well, and I'm certainly not going to give you advice on what you think or what I think you should be doing with your time. The idea that comes up for me though is this one of balance. And I know, and I've said jokingly that balance is that split second that I pass over when I'm going from one extreme to the other. So here's Koila working like nonstop, like a madwoman. Now here's Koila watching the beans dry. Right. So is there something in between? Because work expands to fill the time allowed for it. Right. So I guess you get to be deliberate with how you use the next 5 days or whatever it is until you start the job, but maybe even preemptively or proactively say, you know what, here's the time that I'm going to be spending in that employment. But now that I've got this blessing of time, let me be deliberate about how I use everything that's around that. And you've got 5 days to prepare. So in the meantime, congratulations on your beans. That's you're picking beans. Wow. I've never done that. That's a new thing. You know what I did the other day, Koila, that I had never done before? I went to it was a farm festival, like an autumn Oktoberfest kind of a thing. And I saw my first ever pig race. They actually raced pigs around the track. It was hilarious. Kids were screaming. It was great. All right. So new stuff. Who's got some ideas on that? Mark, you've got the floor. What's coming up for you?
John, thanks. Just to kind of follow up on Therese, and then actually what Koila just said, sort of reiterated to me just the comment I want to make, and this is the sort of the turning over the rock kind of scenario, and that's what's been going on for the last 6 months, I suppose. Since joining in and doing the Amazon thing, and then getting involved in some other channels and. It's one thing to just you kind of go into your house, you haven't opened up a box for a long time, or you go out to your shed or storage, and then you decide you just want to start looking, hey, what do I have here? What haven't I touched for years? and stuff starts coming out, and whether it's, some, old bank account, or whether it's something in a box you haven't touched in, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, and you're saying, wow, I forgot that I even had this. So it's kind of like you're dusting off the head and the, and your legacy and your history, and saying, wow, what am I going to do with this? It's just kind of the same thing I'm seeing in business. You have these little sort of stagnations, and so I'll take a moment and just sort of turn over the rock and say, what else is there and what else is available? Hey, look what's under the rock. You just never know what's under the rock. So I just kind of liked the way Therese opened, her comments about that. And hey, just wasn't even really expecting this. So you just never know what to expect and what might be there. Yeah, maybe, it might be a little bit of a challenge to get through something, and it's not necessarily the greatest thing that you turn over the rock and say, well, I didn't really want that. But then you never know. If you don't turn over the rock, you don't take the risk, you'll never know, and you'll get just in life what you expected, which is nothing. Or if you take the risk and you turn over the rock and you look, you just might actually end up with something really great in your hands too. So
Beautiful. You'll get what you expected, which is nothing. Confucius say, man who shoots at nothing sure to hit it. So yeah, beautiful reminders, Mark. Thank you so much. Adrian's got his hand up. Here comes some wisdom, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you're not putting me on the spot there, John. I think I better just put my hand down now and
Well,
disappear.
I mean, you were listed as the facilitator today, and that didn't work.
I'm going to
but-
investigate this. I tell you, I'm expecting the 20th, but I'll look at the list. I think the list needs editing. Something's gone wrong with it.
Oh, you're on the list.
I am, yeah. Anyway, look, well, apologies to everyone for any confusion today, by the way. We'll sort all this out. But John, yes, I mean, the thing I've been agonizing on the most in recent days is success. Whether we actually know what it looks like, how should we define it, and what your thoughts were on, how do we know when we've actually had it? Sometimes we may be defining it the wrong way. Are we just defining it in monetary terms? Are we defining it against other values that we hold? How does it affect everybody? I'd love to hear, really, well, from you and then from anyone else who has views on success and whether they feel they're achieving it, they know what it looks like, they're clear about what it is they're actually trying to succeed at, and how everyone's dealing with that.
Thank you. My favorite definition of success I got from Earl Nightingale, which he didn't originate either, but he said his favorite definition is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So the progressive, making progress, realization, making more real of a worthy to me, ideal, which we may or may not ever truly fulfill, right? If we completely fulfilled our ideals, our purposes in life, I think you'd probably turn into a poof of smoke or something, and you'd transcend, worldliness or whatever. But I haven't arrived. Neither had Earl. Neither have any of us. We're still here. So since we've got a purpose or an ideal or ideals that we're working towards, progressively making more real in our lives, and since we're not islands, in the lives of others, anyone we can have an effect with in society, that is success. And I think that's not so much do I think I'm successful, but do I feel successful? So Adrian, in that way, when I've done some high integrity action and I've created a product, right? There's a gratifying effect. Henry Ford said, there is joy in work. There is no happiness unless one feels like they've accomplished something. So to me, that's success, which brings up the old cliche, the joy is in the journey. So how do I know that I've achieved success? Well, what the hell does that mean? Am I successful? Yes, I'm taking deliberate action and it's bearing fruit to whatever degree, but it was self-determined, high integrity action. That's when I'm happiest. Yes, that makes me successful. But it's not like I've achieved success, because I don't think you ever arrive. There's my thoughts. I'd be happy to hear anybody else's. Adrian, does any of that work for you? Or
it does. John, makes a lot of sense. I think we can lose sight sometimes of the journey we're on. Progressive realization of a worthy ideal. We have, I suppose, have to keep reminding ourselves of what it was we set out to do, because there are so many challenges, distractions, signposts by the side of the road, side roads. You can end up getting diffused or taking a track and not quite realizing that you're not on the original track at all. Your worthy ideal was somewhere off in the distance, somewhere else. So it's a constant challenge, I think, especially with today's massive news feeds, information distractions, task distractions, apps popping up, and the things that challenge us every day. Not so easy.
Yeah. Just staying on purpose is quite an accomplishment. I heard somebody say John, although I do see Jamie and Carlene have
Yeah.
their hands up.
No, I
Somebody
just-
said John.
I was just going to add to that. It was just I listened to a really interesting podcast on that subject, Adrian, a couple of weeks ago, and I just liked the way they spoke about traditionally we've probably all measured success, or the vast majority, with a kind of financial, monetary aspect attached to it, or your kind of assets. But I just like the way they said, actually, what we should start to do more of is measure success in lots of different ways. So success based on your family values, success based on your health, success based on your mental well-being, your physical well-being. We don't really talk about that so much in the sense of success. For some reason, we kind of strive for a financial success. So I just thought it was quite an interesting take on it.
Hey, Nicola, that's great. Do you mind if I comment on that, John? Yeah, Therese is covering this actually in her sessions, because she has a marvelous device, if you can put it that way, which is a wheel measuring right across the board your primary food. In other words, the things that nourish us apart from food on the plate. I don't know if Therese wants to comment on that, but it is very interesting, Nicola, that we tend to neglect. And if you do one of those wheels of life where you draw out the score on each prong, it ends up looking like a spider's web. It's amazing how out of balance you can get on some of the things that matter.
Yeah, it's a really profound concept, and it's funny, you hit right on it, Nicola. It's about balance, right? And I think in today's society, or I just think culturally, many cultures and over the generations, I think we defined successes in terms of monetary value or assets. And really, truly, that's not the case. I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people that spend their entire lives on their career. I think of my brother, for instance, who absolutely has no contact with his family except for when it's, convenient for him. And he's got children that don't even know, they don't know the joy of that experience of having a grandparent or cousins or aunts and uncles. And his life's very out of balance, in my opinion, and he's not very healthy. He doesn't even take time for exercise. Don't know if he eats right. So I think success, I mean, I don't want to spend my life with someone like that. I want to spend my life with someone who has a little bit of a foothold in a lot of areas. I mean, it can't be perfectly balanced at all times. One foot's going to lean heavier in one part of that wheel at different times of your life. But I guess for me, I mean, that's one of the draws of the integrative nutrition, is really about that balance. And for me in my life, that's what I strive for every day. And hopefully we'll get to that point where I share that with everyone. And eventually I will do some PDF handouts or some spreadsheets, or not spreadsheets, excuse me, but presentation sheets, so that you guys can look at it. But I love that, Nicola. Thank you for calling that to our attention. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Therese, Nicola, Adrian, and all. We've got Jamie, then Carlene, then Bill. Jamie, you've got the floor.
So this was kind of a win and a success and an epiphany for me after the conversation we had the other day about, doing a lot of things okay, but not doing one thing well. So that kind of moved me, that conversation and your advice, what your response to that. One of the balls I'm juggling is a small repair maintenance business that I have with a partner on the side, where we specialize with real estate companies that manage rentals. And when they turn over the rental, there's some minor maintenance or repair that needs to be done. So we got hooked up with this guy who owns the company, and they have 500. So we met with them to do business with him, and he slaps a contract in front of me, which was weeks ago. And this thing just was so one-sided. And he called me and said, "What do you think?" I go, "Well, it's great." And the contract really was to make us a preferred vendor. So what the advantage for me would be to sign it would be that we'd get paid every Friday as opposed to 30 days, whatever this payment cycle is. But as I read into this, and what I thought I understood was I was giving away way too much. There was way too much that I had to conform to from a liability standpoint, from a, just to measure up to the specifications on his side. I have a friend who does some developing in Arizona, who's worth millions of dollars and has worked with contractors and property managers, for years. So I had him look at it. So between the two of us, we pretty much redlined 3/4 of this contract out. And I was worried, that word done, right, that you talk about. I was worried about sending it back because I was worried about how that would look. And we literally redlined. If you were to take that thing and accept all the redline, for those of you that may not know what redline document is, you get a document for somebody, you edit it, it shows your edits, you send it back, they accept it or deny it, or they comment on it. I was worried I'd send it back and I'd get a phone call like, forget it, we'll move on. I haven't gotten the call back, so that may happen. But what I got done was I finally got into it and read it. I had some help with somebody who's way better at this than I am, has more experience at this than I do, and sent it back. Because when I've had the first conversation with a guy, he says, well, I said, hey, this is way too one-sided. He said, yeah, of course it is, because I wrote it. Shocker. I sent it back. He said, just edit it and send it back. So it went, I let it sit on the pile because it was not comfortable with my knowledge, my level of knowledge with that thing. So long story short, after yesterday's conversation, we finally pulled it out. I finally got some help. We finally got the red line and I sent it back. And although I have not gotten any feedback from this guy, I don't care. I feel good that I feel great that I finally got to it, had it edited the way I felt comfortable and my partner felt comfortable with, and got it off the list as done. So my success for me was after our conversation yesterday and getting and finally hearing from other people and comments in the chat was I went, screw it, got it out, did it, sent it off. And I'm now not worried about what the outcome's going to be, because A, I can't control it, and B, whatever it is, it's going to be. So it's one of those things I felt like I got a little better at it than just okay with it. So.
Right. And you accomplished something of use, some on-purpose action that you perhaps were putting off. Beautiful, right? That's one less thing on weighing you down mentally. And
exactly, and it's a relief. It's weight off the shoulders, and it freed me up to be a little more open and freer to do things, to get into some things that, again, the reason I'm not good at it or I was okay at it was because of the knowledge level, and I just went with my gut and a couple other things. So it was a good day.
Yeah, beautiful. And we have people in our midst who are better at certain things than others. And right now I'm thinking of Adrian Garner, who, he knows contracts and contracting. In fact, if you missed our Life and Business Tools event last night, it was about contracts and contracting and, the placement of a comma and the significance of such a placement, so interesting stuff. Adrian, thank you for bringing your expertise to this group as well. Hugely important stuff, which clearly isn't my bag or Jamie's, right? So Carlene's got the floor, and then Bill. Hey, Carlene.
Hi, John. Hey, everyone. I was actually going to speak after Adrian mentioned, like, what do we determine or what do we define success as? And then Nicola came in and I was like, I should put my hands down, because she basically covered everything and she hit every nail on the head. But I will share this though. Growing up on a very small island in the Caribbean, we would define success as, oh, we got to make it to the big world, to the big leagues. And as children, we'd have these posters on our walls, we'd have all the big pop stars. I remember personally being obsessed with Lil' Kim and all the famous musicians back then. So I had her poster on my bedroom wall, and all my friends called me Queen Bee because I was obsessed with Lil' Kim and her nickname was Queen Bee. So to this day, my friends still call me Queen Bee because of that, crazy. But we always felt like if this success meant having the mansion and the cars and just the fame and everything. And you're living on an island where there's the beach, there's the ocean, there's organic food. There is just, everything is perfect. However, you're not seeing it that way because you're looking at the materialistic side of life. And then the older you become, it starts to just take this, like you do this 180, where now I long for the ocean. I long for the organic food. I long for just sitting under the stars and just being able to have like cookouts on the beach and listen to the waves and the ocean. And no longer you want to be like a famous pop star and all the things that come with it, all the trappings and all the fame. And even the connection here in this group, just everyone is so different, everyone is so unique. And you cherish this, like this type of community and the friendships you make with people who you probably would have never met. I would have probably never walked up to many of the people in this group because I probably would think I have nothing in common with them. But then lo and behold, I have so much in common. I have so much in common with Mark and Bill and Jamie and Caroline and Nicola and Therese and Gail, and everyone's amazing. And it just makes you realize that what we define as success, we sometimes probably have the idea based on maybe what's fed to us at the time, or what's put out there in the media. And as Nicola mentioned, even something as simple as our diet, certain things that we overlook. Like I never took those things, I never appreciated them. And now the things we took for granted, this is the time when it's being highlighted. So it's glaring to the point where every day I'm like, how could I have not taken all these things and appreciated them when I had them? But it's a learning experience. And I just wanted to mention that after Adrian mentioned, like, what do we define success as? So just wanted to share that bit with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlene,
you.
and so articulate. Speaking of hanging out on the beach, why don't we go right now to Hawaii, I believe, where Bill is about to join us. Hi, Bill.
Hi, yeah, I'm just moved in next door to Christian. I wish. Okay, so success for me is exactly as Carlene has just said, as Nicola has just said, and Therese. Success isn't material. Doesn't matter how good you are at making money or how bad you are at making money. It means a lot. A chord that struck me there was Therese saying about her brother. About 20 odd years ago, I came home one night and had a photograph. I found a photograph at 2 a.m. in the morning on my dining room table. And it was a family photograph, but my face was cut out of it. And my daughter was like 3 or 4 at the time. And I said to my wife, when I was getting a whole 3 hours in bed then to go back in again. And I says, what's with that there? Oh, she says she hasn't seen you in that long. She decided to cut your photograph out of the face and take it with her to school. So, roll today, it's she's nearly 25. She still holds that against me. And rightly so, because I wasn't there when she was growing up. And hence the reason I spend so much time with my granddaughter now. I get to see her. It's probably a guilt trip on my point, but you know, it's a success because she's such a great kid. But the whole success thing is in the round is happiness. It's not doing without the money. It's not doing without the nice car. It's not just family. It's everything in the round. And if you can balance that up, as Teresa said, that's exactly where we all need to go. I can't say it, I'm going to preach to everybody. What I will say today is I'm balancing my granddaughter is in the bath currently unattended, but I can hear her and you probably hear her in the background shouting at me. My daughter is in hospital, not very well. And yeah, it's generally balancing everything. Spinning more plates than usual. And it coincided with other things that have went on inside, but I'm back there and I'm fighting fit, and it will not beat me, as they say. So yes, thank you for the group for a start, John, for starting this, because it's great. There's a lot of people in here have been very good to me.
Thank you, and I think you are good to yourself as well, right? And I think we all have this. Certainly, there's the need for money, right? So no apologies about financial success as well, right? Do it. Part of my worthy ideal is to be able to provide a lifestyle of options, right? And ability to have and do and all this. So yeah, but truly the joy is in the journey, which is something I have to remind myself of all the time, because again, I haven't fulfilled every purpose, right? So, okay, well, great. Let's get on with it. Thank you, Bill, for your insights. And we've met your granddaughter. She is such a sweetie. All right, let's go to Adrian Garner again. Then we got Evelyn Melendez.
Sorry, John, me again. This is raising powerful emotions and powerful memories, I think. And you described it as success as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And I suppose from the comments everyone's just made, it's be careful what you wish for. Be careful what that worthy ideal is. And sure, I think we need to keep reassessing it. Maybe we've chosen something which doesn't accord with our natural talents, our emotions, ourselves. We could have decided to launch into a particular type of area, product, what have you. And actually, when we stand back, it doesn't suit us. So we've got to keep looking at that worthy ideal from what I'm hearing. And I'm feeling that myself. And at the end of the day, what do we have? What are we going to have left? It is the memories and the experiences, as was just said. And this group, I'll never forget this group. I'll always remember this. I'll always remember this particular year, what happened, the launch of this group, the people that were in it. Those are the things I'll have long after, hopefully I've retired, hopefully with money to buy food, etc. But, you can have all the passing, fleeting successes, a bit of cash and a quick win. But at the end of the day, it is those memories, those people, those experiences. So balance again, I suppose, balancing out our monetary aims with our personal needs and our personal memories, our interactions with people. I think that's so important. Yeah. Balance again. Yeah. Thank you, John. And the group is just so amazing that what everybody gives back. It's just such a pleasure to share between us all. It's a wonderful experience, that sharing.
I agree. That's what we're here for. In fact, you know what, Adrian, and I know we've got a couple other hands up, and one hand that isn't up, which is Toyin. Toyin, are you not having the technology of putting your hand up? I definitely want to hear from you, but I just got your text that you're looking to speak. But anyone, I'm sure some of you remember Jones, who is a longtime member of the marketing side of some of the stuff that we've done here in this group, and I just saw her. I just glanced at YouTube where we're broadcasting right now. And Jones, we see you. Actually, we don't see you. We'd love to see you. And anyone else who's looking for the core group, just go to jlsuccessmastermind.com and bam, you're in. So welcome back for those who are looking for us, because I can't do this alone. And just like you were indicating, Adrian, there's such a synergy, right? It's truly the mastermind, right? It's a higher intelligence that comes from people who are communicating on sympathetic purposes. So I am just so glad to be here. I am grateful for this.
Yeah, John, I can't tell you how much pleasure I got from last night's session, just sharing ideas with everyone, trying to find solutions to things that were worrying people. It's absolutely great. It gives you more back than you'll ever get from most things in life, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Thank you for your contribution. We're going to hear from Evelyn Melendez and Toyin and Kim. Hey, Evelyn.
Hey, guys. So I have a huge win to share with you guys.
Oh, good.
Guess what it is? Gratitude. Gratitude because I have every single one of you guys in my life, because we get to meet here every day, because I have health and I have the willing desire to keep on moving forward, chop, chop, to where we want to go. We all started here together with you, John, but there may be people here in this group that say, I haven't had any win. What can I talk about? What can I say? I've had more troubles than I had wins. I had more trepidations, more getting lost of not knowing where to go next. But it starts with the basic thank you every day for everything we do have, not what we don't have. And then reach out to this group and take a look around. Look at all of us here, all the different races, all the different countries, all the different parts of the world that we're here together. And this is wonderful. I mean, I have learned so much about so many of you that we had the one-on-one conversations, so many things about your countries. I have shared a little bit that I can share with you guys, about mine, a third world country. Carlene, you were in the Caribbean. I was in Central America. And I would have never thought that at the age of 58 years old, I would be here on the year that's 2020 with such a big blessing as this. I mean, let's take a moment, you guys, to really be thankful for what we do have. I probably will be one of those that will be telling you guys that I have, no job or no income and dwell on that. Instead, I have reinvented myself. to make it happen. That's not gonna stop me. So, you know, is look at the positive, look at the great things, and look at the friendship that we have built. And everything was started by you, John, Lavenia, our magnet. Sorry,
Magnet.
I had to give
That's
you
magnet, not maggot. Magnet.
So for those of you guys that you think you have nothing to say, just, you know, focus on what you do have and be grateful. That was it.
Thank you. Thank you. We're grateful for you, Evelyn. In fact, you need to get with Shannon because Shannon's got some work that we're going to be doing with you. So,
Thank you.
So we're going to get that going here as well. Let's get Toyin out here. Toyin, are you live?
Yes. Hi, John.
Hey.
So my hand, when I put it on, it comes on and then it goes off straight away. So I just ignore it and just message the meeting host. And I'm sorry I'm late today. I just rushed back from my day in school that I do. So my share is, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of challenge and then win success. So the challenge now is, when I started e-commerce, we were on lockdown. So that though I was still doing my main job, I wasn't doing my school job, which is counselling job, because of lockdown. So when I started e-commerce, I had that extra time to, you know, to start learning all the modules and doing the work, and it's been going fine. I've had a few, you know, small wins in that. And now I'm back in the school with the young people, which I absolutely love. And when I was there last week, I thought, yes, this is why I do this, because I love being in the room with a young person and just trying to help them understand how they feel and what they're struggling with. And so many young people have so many difficult challenges. So now it's how do I balance doing e-commerce, my main job, which takes up a lot of time, which I do 12-hour shifts, and you know, I'm often not here for a period of days when I'm working because I just can't get on the calls. And also now I'm back in the school. So I was thinking about it last night, like, oh my gosh, how do I balance it? And I remember I came in on the call late yesterday, but I remember the chat was about overwhelm. So I'm kind of struggling a little bit with overwhelm, but it's more really about balance. But the good thing is, although I'm struggling with this balancing act at the moment, the really good thing is being back in the school with the kids and being in the room. I know I love doing that job so much, but being in this group and on the calls and having all the talk with everyone on this call and all the books we're reading, it's given me the confidence to know that at the end of this year, I'm going to leave the school and I'm going to set up private practice counselling. And before I joined this group, I didn't have the confidence to do that. I used to think, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to get any young kids if I go off and do private practice because I pick up the kids from the school. But actually, now I know that I have value to give to those kids. I really do believe it. And I've got that from being in this group, being in this environment, being with you brilliant and wonderful people, with you, John, who started this off. And so it is a win because I really do believe in myself and in the value that I can give to the young people, and that I can set up that business and juggle it with my other job and doing e-commerce and whatever it is that comes along. And basically just to say that my whole mindset has changed. You know, I really think about success in so many different ways, and just being with those kids, to me, it's a success. It's, you know, being available for a young person to talk about how they feel, that's successful. The fact that I did all that studying and I managed to get the little job that I do have and do it, that's a success. And so I just wanted to share what I've shared to say that although I'm struggling with balance and, you know, not trying not to feel overwhelmed, but the good thing is I am believing in myself, and I know that even amidst the struggle, I have success because I'm going forward. And you say the thing about success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And the more I'm with those kids, the more I'm in the school, I know that that's what I love to do. So that even that alone is a success. So I just want to say thank you for all the help, the chat, the encouragement, the books, the just to be here is just lovely. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Toyin. Thank you. Can you just transcribe everything you just said and send it in to me? We could use some more testimonials like that. That is like, wow. Now, can we put a price on that? I don't think so, right? That is beyond. I mean, just when someone has the realization that, oh my goodness, I am valuable. Total transformation. Wow, wow, wow. I am blown away. Kim, you've got to follow that. So
Wow.
right.
Wow. That's what I have to say. Wow. That, Toyin, thank you for that share. Just to see your smile and the beauty on you and the joy and I love it. Just love to see that you're just continuing to press forward and see that change, the change in all of us that we're seeing. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I guess what is really speaking to me is, and I said it earlier in the chat, is unpacking. And I don't know, it's just rising up in me. So, Therese was unpacking and she found something fabulous, a couple of fabulous items in unpacking. So I guess I would just say to all of you, to myself and all of you, what do you need to unpack today? What are you holding on to that you might need to unpack? Is that guilt? Is that shame? Is that frustration that you're not where you want to be in this Amazon journey? Is that, I don't know. I don't know what that is for you, but what do you need to unpack? And I guess the visual, because I'm a visual person, I want to give you is, I remember years ago when I transitioned from my divorce in Ohio to moving back here to Illinois, not wanting to do that because I had a lot of healing to undergo and had, things happened to me in my past here and I just did not want to come back here. But in that process, I was so angry. I was angry with my ex-husband. I was angry with myself. I was angry with God. And I had met with my pastor and, he said, you just need to let go of some of this stuff. You're so angry, angry at him, angry at the world. And he said, what I see is, he says, I see like you have this big backpack on your back and you just keep stuffing all of this inside of your backpack. And it's heavy. So I just want to share that. I don't know who needs that, but that was just such an eye opener for me. When you begin to unload those items that are in your backpack, life just gets so much lighter and easier. And I guess I'll tie that into success because that's what I have on my signature. I have Maya Angelou's quote that is, success is liking yourself, liking what you do and liking how you do it. So, you need to like yourself. You need to like the way that you interact with other people, like who you are, like how you do things. Do you do that with integrity? So, yeah, that's all I have. So what do you need to unpack today? So.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, it's almost like what Jamie was talking about with the mental weight of this unfinished business cycle or whatever, right? So now that's done. So that is relieving ourselves of that mental baggage. Wow. I've had some really heavy backpacks throughout times in my life. So
I have too.
yeah. Thank you, Kim. So glad you're here. We're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. We've got Nancy and then Jane. Hey, Nancy, you've got the floor.
Hey, everybody. Wonderful share, Kim. I love what you just said. I wrote that down about liking who you are, liking others, and liking what you do. It's brilliant. Everybody's had such great things. Toyin, I just want to piggyback off of her for a second because that's really my first, teaching is my love, but teaching kids is what I've done my whole life as well. Currently, I'm not working with kids. And so when you talked about being with kids, I'm just like, oh yeah, I absolutely love being around young people for so many reasons, but I don't have that right now. But what I do have is teaching yoga. And to me, success is being in service. And I wrote that in the chat because as a teacher, whether it's with kids or adults or whoever, if I can touch one person, help make a shift in one small way with anyone, meaning reminding people of their own innate value, reminding people of their own beauty, of their own capabilities, then I that's good. Like, and I feel like that's a success. And I also want to, let me see who talked about relationships. I think Adrian and some other people, I can't recall, but being in relationship, if you cannot find success there, I think that's a good place to look. So yesterday I spent pretty much the bulk of my day. It was my mom's 93rd birthday. She's amazing. And I wanted to make her breakfast, which ended up taking me like 2 hours with poor time management. Anyways, it was this big, amazing breakfast I cooked. And then I wanted to just be in quality time with her, being present with her. We did yoga together. We had dinner out last night. And just wanting to make that day special for her. And that to me is success, because we can't take any of the other stuff with us. It does help along the way. But I think that's something that we really could, I mean, for me, I have to remember that. The last thing I want to say is the word about value, and Therese was talking about that. This whole year, that's been one word for me, value, like up-leveling the value, like what I charge for my teaching, what I charge for my privates, who are my clients, how can I get more business? And because of being a part of your group, you guys, and the encouragement I have felt from this whole group, I've had a lot of opportunities pop up out of nowhere, like a lot of opportunities. And I've actually been praying for the perfect opportunities to help support, grow my business and my life. And they are coming in fast and furious. And I'm just like, talk about overwhelm. I'm taking them on one by one, and I'm excited. And that wouldn't be happening probably if I wasn't a part of this group. So thank you, each of you.
Thank you, Nancy. So glad you're here. By the way, anyone who didn't catch Nancy's yoga session this morning, Nancy, I'm going to be posting that recording here momentarily. Thank you for your service. And, you know, obviously it's your passion, right? Yoking the, you know, the body, the mind, the spirit, bringing all that together. Really helpful stuff. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're going to wrap up here pretty soon. We do have Jane, and I see Joseph has got his hand up. Jane Kinyalo. Where is my friend Jane? Let's get her out here.
Hi, John.
Hey, there she is. You're looking beautiful as always.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of this group. And I'm just following up with what Kim said about what we need to unpack. And before joining this group, I had so much baggage, and I didn't really like myself. I didn't like what I was seeing in the mirror, but being part of this group has helped me to actually look at myself in the mirror. What do I want? Who do I want to see? What do I need to unpack? What do I need to change? What do I need to do to be able to like myself? And I will say that I love myself. I wake up in the mirror and I say, wow, thank you. Thank you, Jesus, for this beautiful girl that you have made. So all the bottle up, all the bottleneck, I've been able to break down what I need to do, you know, what I need to do to be able to correct different areas of my life that I am expecting success and what I need to do. And it is true, connecting with all of you beautiful people, and the books recommended by John, the continuous affirmation and believing in each other and supporting each other is really, it's going a long way. And I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Yep, this is just the beginning, and so glad you're here with us. What a beautiful background you got going there too. You got some flowers and some grass. Hopefully everybody's getting out. Yeah, beautiful. Hopefully everybody's getting out and running down the street and doing gardening or pumping iron. Do something, right? Get out, do it. We're going to go ahead and wrap up with Joe Saka. Hey, Joe, or is it Regina? I'm not sure which one. It says Joseph.
We're taking turns.
Regina. All right. I never know. It could be either one.
He talks, I talk. Anyway, I'm just sitting here. Unfortunately, I didn't catch all of it because I'm getting ready to go to work in a little bit. And I'm noticing that everybody's kind of like forming this one big puzzle, and we're all like these little pieces that are all kind of coming together as magnetic pieces, forming this huge puzzle of life. And it's really kind of weird. I'm sitting back here looking at it, and everybody's kind of getting into their own little nook, and we're working off each other, and we're helping each other, and like we're magnetizing toward who can help us grow. And I just think this is the most amazing thing. I mean, regardless of what I do in life or what Joe and I do in life, I hope that we're always part of this group because you're our family now. And I'm getting emotional because we don't have family. But also, I want to say an extra thank you to everyone who's helped me in every way they could. And I want to especially thank Evelyn because she's lifted a huge rock off my shoulder yesterday. And I just feel so much better about everything. And I have a clearer mind about where I'm going. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. A happy holiday to those of us that are celebrating it. And God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Tomorrow's Fun Friday, in fact, so we're not ready for the weekend yet. So definitely tune in for that. In fact, I don't see any more hands up. Let me just give a quick reminder that if you are a member here of the JL Success Mastermind, you are invited to attend a special event at 5 p.m. Eastern. So your time there, Regina. I'm not sure if you're going to be around live for that. Of course, we'll record it. And that is our e-commerce copywriting workshop with special guest Chelsea Cohen. And then, of course, we're going to wrap up this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern with Lieutenant Colonel Mark Riggle, Global and Tactical Marketing. So good times. Thank you all for being here and for this impromptu, never before occurred round robin. We don't have a topic, but we'll figure one out as we go event that we just experienced. So Hospitality Suite is open. We'll see some of you in there. In the meantime, make it a great day. You absolutely deserve it. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Nice